Okay, we're live. Alright, so first off, the stupid question off the bat is, who are you? Introduce yourself.
My name's Alex Bouks, and I'm the guitar player for Emulation.
So, yeah, just make sure you're looking at me. So,
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, at what point in your life were you considered hooked in this style of extreme music?
Well, I mean, I grew up in the 1970s, so for me it was hard rock music, first, and bands like, Sabbath, Zeppelin, Purple, then UFO, Scorpions, all that kind of stuff. So by the early 80s, I discovered bands like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, and then that transitioned into like Venom, Metallica, Slayer. So, and early hardcore stuff like Discharge and GBH, stuff like that. So, I guess that's where I kind of got the bug, and it just went on from there.
Judas Priest is playing like here today.
Really?
I'm not even fucking around.
Oh my God, I should be over there.
Yeah, dude, I'm like Rob's in the house, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's one of the reasons I do what I do is Judas Priest, So.
So, what excites you about the evolution of the genre?
Well, I mean that's a evolution. That's a difficult question because I'm from the beginning of the music, and I'm not all that familiar with a lot of the newer bands, but there are some new bands that I hear that I feel that are pushing boundaries. And specifically bands like Blood Incantation, Full of Hell, and for me it's always about individualism. And some of the bands I do hear nowadays, they just seem to copy what we all did 30-something years ago, and which is great and all, but I'd much rather hear bands that are kind of have their own identity and trying to speak their own voice instead of trying to copy what was done prior, so in particular those are two bands I would say that I feel that are trying to push things in a new direction. They have their old influences obviously, but they kind of have their own stamp on things too, and their own identity, which is most important to me. I'd rather hear bands do something different than just kind of try to do what everybody else did previously. So, but I'm not the best person to ask about that because I don't really follow too much of what's going on today. But if somebody says, "Hey, Alex, check these guys out. You'll like these guys." There's another band from Norway called Obliteration, and they're definitely one of my favorite newer bands, even though they've probably been around like 15 years now or something like that. But that's new to me. But yeah. So.
Full of Hell, man.
Love them.
Holy shit. Yeah. So like, and the thing is like, so I've talked to Dylan. He's like one of the nicest dudes.
Oh, Dylan's the best.
Dylan,
yeah.
Dylan literally, like,
they're brothers. They're our little brothers.
It literally felt like I like knew him for like 10 years talking to him.
Yeah.
Like we had some issues like scheduling, and he's like so like down to earth, and he's like, "Hey man,
Dylan's the best.
Sorry."
Total respect for Dylan, fantastic human being and musician.
God, he's like,
and one of the most intense frontmen you'll ever see.
I was just about to say, like, there's just something about him that makes that band just demand attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've toured together twice actually with Full of Hell, and it's kind of rare that I watch the bands every night on tour, and sometimes you don't have the time to sometimes, but for the most part I always would just kind of make the time to sit and watch them every night, and never have I ever seen them play a bad show ever. It's just full on intensity. Kind of reminds me, they have, even though they sound different, but they have that kind of that raw energy and attitude of like the early Napalm Death in the 80s, that kind of high energy, I guess.
I'm kind of curious where that band's going to be in like 10 years if they're still.
I think they're going to keep doing, trying different things, you know, because that's what I like about Full of Hell. They're kind of, you know, you can't really pinpoint what they are because they do a lot of different things in the music, and they bring a lot of different influences. I think there's a lot of like kind of avant-garde influences in there too, you know.
It just dropped a new song. It's like funky.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
It's like sweet. I'm like I did not expect this to come.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. So bands like that, you know, like I said, Blood Incantation too. Bands like that give me hope for the future of extreme music. You know, when I hear bands like that are pushing forward, you know.
Yeah.
So
what have you learned the most about community and culture of the style music?
What is it? What culture?
So what have you learned the most about the community or culture over the years? Just this genre specifically.
Oh, I mean, just from playing, I've been playing music since, well, like 36 years, something like that. So, you know, just over the years of touring and traveling to all different parts of the world and just meeting all kinds of people from different backgrounds, different cultures and stuff. But in the end of the day, we're all the same, you know, and we have this passion for music and this unity that brings everybody together, you know, under music. And for me, it's like, you know, even though we play, I guess you would consider it the negative side of music, for me it's a very positive force that, you know, brings a lot of hope to a lot of people. So that's one of the things that it's a very unifying force, you know.
So off of that, how you said that, there's a question that basically a lot of people that don't listen to music now they say, oh, those people are fucking pissed off, they hate the world. And I'm just curious, this is like a question that people look at me like, why the fuck do you ask this? But how has this style of music made you a positive impact on your life today?
Made me positive?
No. Like, how has this music made a positive impact on your life?
In so many ways, you know. I've through music, I've met some of my closest friends. You know, I have friends all over the world that I've been friends with since the 80s, you know, from tape trading and stuff like that. And you know, some of the greatest people you can ever meet, you know. And for me, that's just like the biggest blessing out of, you know, playing music, you know, is just meeting all the amazing people that I've met over the years, and the long-lasting friendships that, you know, that I've made. You know, because it's sometimes difficult to find people that are like-minded and kind of free spirits, you know. And I think that's the thing about music in general, whatever genre of music that you play, is that we are kind of like the truth seekers in a sense, you know, and looking for the truth and looking for some answers out there. And, you know, so I think that's one of the amazing things. It's just all the amazing people that I've connected with over the years.
I get that all, like, the answer of, like, everybody's different, but we're all the same, like, I don't know. It's like, to me, I just don't, like, when I talk to my brother, he goes through a lot of stupid shit, like, and, like, type music, and I just I don't feel that there. You know?
Well, I mean, that's okay, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't like, you know, but, you know, but as long as the music is having a positive effect on somebody in one way or another, or inspiring somebody in one way or another to do something great, then and be creative or whatever. It doesn't mean you have to be creative in music, just whatever in life that inspires you to do whatever it is that you're passionate about, then that's fantastic, you know. So yeah.
So so what's something unexpected that you've had to overcome being many bands? Like, give me like a funny, maybe not so funny, touring story that I don't know, you're like, holy shit, they're still doing this. They have to go through that.
Wow. Well, there's so many. You know, Definitely the struggles on the road. Like things are a lot easier nowadays. It took a long time to get to that point where you're actually like making some money and able to pay some bills playing music. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of crazy stories. Wow, I can't even think. Well, I mean, starving on the road, things like that. It's just like, when you just have enough money for a bag of chips or something, and just to get through. But that's the struggle a lot of people go through to do their art, and just to be honest. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy stories. I can't think of anything offhand right now, but
So So when it comes down to like DIY, what do you think is the most rewarding part about touring, releasing a CD,
well, I think the important thing about DIY, I mean, there's a lot. The current status of Immolation now is a little bit different. We're kind of, we're locked in with a lot of really good business people, with our label, with Nuclear Blast, with our booking agency. But, but the thing is, it's still kind of DIY because we have control over everything we do, whether it's the artwork, whether it's our music, whatever we're doing. Nobody's sitting there telling us, what we need to do, and that's been since day one. There was never any aspirations when we were playing this music in the 80s, when we started playing this, that we were going to be professional musicians or whatever. It was just about the music, and it just kind of happened over time. I mean, it still kind of baffles me sometimes because in the late 80s it was such an underground thing, and there was only a handful of bands, like whether in our area or overseas, and it's just crazy how it's grown over the years. Like, it's just insane. Like, I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of mine from the band Mortician, and we went to see Carcass reunion when they first got back together, and I think it was the first day of their tour. They played in New York City, and it was sold out, 2,100 people, and we both kind of looked at each other. It was like, wow, you never think, back in the day, there's no way you would think 2,100 people coming to a Carcass show, and then fast forward to all the festivals when you got 40, 50, 60,000 people out there over in Europe, seeing death metal bands like, whether it's us or Behemoth or Cannibal Corpse or whatever. It's amazing, and I think that's a lot to do with, the internet and the younger audience today, because there's a lot of younger kids that are getting into it. They're not force-fed music like we were, because, when we really had to work hard to find the music that we like, buying vinyls, ordering vinyls, tape trading, things like that. So nowadays, it's like you don't have MTV or something like that force-feeding what you're going to hear. And kids can just find stuff, on the internet, and just surf things and all. And I think that's another important thing of why this music has broadened the way it has, because there's a lot of kids that are looking for something more extreme or darker or whatever, and they may start off with the more commercial thing like Slipknot or something like that, and then they hear, some underground death black metal or something, like, oh, that's what I'm looking for, and it was the same thing with me. It was a progression when I was a kid, listening to Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, into like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and then Metallica and Slayer came out, and and I was always kind of searching for something more extreme, and that's why the death metal scene kind of happened, because we were all, even though in the early days we all had our own unique kind of sound, I think, but we were all trying to push boundaries, trying to, create the music we wanted to hear, because some of the bands weren't as extreme or as dark or whatever, and we were just trying to, push the music to the next level, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's just crazy to think that we're all here still doing this over 30 something years now. It's crazy. Because back in the day, you just think about, I'm going to do a demo, and that's the major focus, like doing a demo, getting your demo in the fanzines and stuff like that, tape trading your demo, getting it spread out, playing a show, traveling to whatever state to go play a show, and then fast forward, then you get a record deal, and then you have a record, then you go out on tour, and but it just kind of went on from there, so and I just can't see it any other way. It's like, I need this in my life, I need to do it, and everybody's like in their either late 40s or 50s now, but I think we're all more passionate about it than ever, and I think we do it better than we did in the earlier days too, because you learn over time how to harness your craft, and so yeah.